What's up, my friends? This is Tracy Allen, aka the Cremation Lady, and today we are honoring grandmothers. I'm sorry, grandfathers, we love you too. But this is because I went to my friend Mary Gilder's book signing yesterday, and she has a book called Little Bit. Little Bit is about her grandmother, and that was her grandmother's nickname. They called her Little Bit because she was a little tiny thing, but she was a powerhouse. And so I love the stories that she shared. And I wanted to share this with you guys because, we as grandmothers, we need to make sure that we're passing down knowledge, that we're passing down the love, that we're passing down recipes and all the good things. And I'm sure that if you're a grandmother, you're doing your best to do that. But I want to share from Mary's perspective of how it impacted her. Some of us never get a chance to really get to know our grandchildren. Some people have passed on before their children became adults. So Little Bit never got to experience the impact that she had on Mary's life. And my grandmother, she passed when I was 20 years old, and I was in the Navy at that time. But, so she never got a chance to see this Tracy now. But there's so many things that she did and said that stays with me. She will forever be my heart. And I called her Nanny. So let me just share a couple things, and then I'm going to go because I have things to do today. I have to go places today. As always, I'm on the run, y'all. But I'm just going to read this part in the back here in her book where she talks about what happened after her grandmother passed away. And she says, following the gravesite service, family and friends returned to grandmother's home. I remember lots of people, countless conversation, and delicious food, not just the usual repast dishes, but a heightened deliciousness. The house echoed with forced laughter as the adults shared treasured memories. Lost in my own chaotic world, I sat in silence. Within that silence, I felt the manifestation of a shift being birthed, one I had no power to alter. I knew it would leave a lasting impact on my journey. There would be no more trips to the market, no more cooking demonstrations, no more housekeeping errands, no more requests to be Little Bits plus one. I thought that was so cute. No more Young and the Restless, General Hospital, Guiding Light, or As the World Turns. No more Little Bits delicious cuisine, mustard greens, pork chops, spaghetti, eggs sunny side up, or the thick bacon from the butcher. Little Bit was in heaven now, at peace, rejoicing with the angels, and I was left behind. She had never left me, not even when I begged her to. But on the day assigned the day that the angels were assigned to arrive and bring her home, Little Bit left me behind. My 10-year-old self understood my world would never be the same. And I love how she wrote that because it's so true. I remember when my grandfather passed away, and I know we're talking about grandmothers, but my grandfather had passed away and I was 6, and I was crying, and my cousin, she, leaned me down so that I could cry on her leg, and she could hold me. And I was crying so much, she sat me up. And when I was, I'm crying, I'm in the middle of crying and stuff. And I was like, what? Oh, and I looked at her thigh, big old wet spot on her thigh. So, things happen, right? We, she was trying to comfort me, but that's what happened. But I loved my grandfather and I loved my nanny. I was under her all the time. She was my ace boon coon, and she just never judged. She was just there, and I loved her. But she had an impact on me as well. So we were talking about our grandmothers, and I wanted to share that with you guys because those of us that are at that grandma age, we want to make sure that we're passing down these stories. We want to make sure that we're passing down the love, the knowledge, the recipes, whatever it is. We want to give that to the next generation. And you know what? Even if you are not a grandmother, if you have something that you want to be passing down for someone to learn, share that. Find a way. There's people on YouTube that don't have grandchildren and stuff, but they still share how to make things. There are so many things that we do right now, even the foods that we eat, that in maybe 20 years or less, they might not even be available anymore. But wouldn't it be cool to see how something was prepared at one point in time? Wouldn't it be cool to learn about how to make things that maybe is a lost art? You know, when we look at stuff from Egypt and stuff, it's like, how did they make that, right? How cool would it be is to just pass that down, even if you don't have family members and stuff. Everybody appreciates a good story. I love going on YouTube watching videos about the 1920s and 1930s where people were just walking around there, you know, doing their thing, not really being trying to be recorded and stuff. You know, we live in a different age. But back then they were just going about their business, and the camera would catch them off guard if they caught, you know, oh, there's a camera looking at me. But stories that we should pass down, okay? And I want to ask you, if you are a grandmother, what are you called? What do your grandchildren call you? I thought that this was really fun because what she did was she had everybody to share what their grandchildren call them. Now, my little 4-month-old grandson, he doesn't call me anything yet. But again, I'm supposed to be Nona. But in her book, she says, in honoring Lil Bit and her unforgettable journey, this beautiful book honors all referred to as Nana, Mama, Big Mama, Grandmother, Granny, Grams, Grandma, Grammy, Glamma, Mima, Nanny, Abuela, Nona, Lola, Baba, Queen, Bibi, Babushka, Gam Gam, Yaya, Osh, Oma, Nana, Gigi, Jima, Vovo, Obasan, Sabta, Taktik, and Tutu. Now, I probably messed up a couple of them. I probably said them wrong. But then, and the list goes on is what she says. But it was fun to sit there and watch the reactions of the different grandmothers in the room, because it was like, oh, that's what I'm called. Oh, and everybody's waiting to see, you know, will their name be called? And then it was like, you know, when she got to me, I was like, okay, well, my grandson's going to be calling me Nona, but I called my grandmother Nanny. And so it's just fun stuff to share, right? And these are things that we want to pass down. And, you know, one of the things I love about Smart Cremation, we have an urn that's called Legacy Link. And it allows you to upload your stories to the QR code. There's a little medallion on the side of the urn. And you upload videos and photos. And then people can still go back and look at those videos and photos even after you're gone. But while you're alive, you get to memorialize yourself. And that is so important. We have so many stories. There are so many of us that have never taken the time to sit down and write a book about Lil Bit, okay? And so how are we passing those stories down? We should be passing them down, right? I'm a Navy veteran. I'm sure that there's some stories that I haven't even written down yet that I probably want to pass on to my grandson and whoever else comes along. But we want to make sure that we are sharing who we were while we are still alive. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I am getting ready to get out of here. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But just kind of think about that, you know, and grandfathers too. You guys, I mean, again, the book is about her grandmother. And so she's honoring grandmothers right now. But it is not to say that grandfathers are not important, because we love our men. Okay, so men, you guys are harder to get to sit down and put a story together. So do that, men. Y'all too. So grandparents, get on it, you guys. So thank you. I hope you liked this video, and I have something I think will be really beneficial next week. So tune back in. Please come back. Thank you for new subscribers. I see I have some new subscribers, so thank you so much. And let's share the love. All right, that's all I got for now. And I want to say thank you to my helper. His name is Hasabul. I hope I'm saying that right. But Hasabul has been helping me. If you've been seeing little shorts, he's been throwing some little shorts up for me. So thank you, Hasabul. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Take care and ciao for now.